Okay, add this extension. Okay. I want to share screen one. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay. So let me tell you the full story because we're doing an assessment right now.
Okay.
I have a, let me see, let's bring it here. Okay. So we're doing an assessment of two big peer buildings in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And I'll just pull up this PDF here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you can see, let me minimize some stuff so you can get, see all this. Can you see that sort of clearly?
Correct. Yes, I can.
Okay. So we have to assess this building 101, this building 102. There's some other smaller buildings. You can see 105, 4, 103,
Right.
107, 108. And then also the site area. This is site number 1, site number 2, site 3, site 4.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, that this exercise is something that we need to do, and we can do it manually. It doesn't have to be in the web app, but somebody has to break apart this big site into its separate components.
Correct.
Now within here, I'm going to show you a zoom in of this one, buildings 101 and 102, because those are the big buildings.
Okay.
And here's that floor plan. And so within that floor plan, so this top part is building 101, and this bottom part is building 102. And then within there, I have to take a guess about how I want to break up this building into separate pieces.
Okay.
So I would call this stairwell here is like 101, A4. This big lobby area is 101A1. This bathroom section, A102. These offices, A3, and another bathroom's here. And then this is a big warehouse. So this is one big thing called 101B1.
Okay.
And I have to get square footages of all of those sections.
Okay.
And I'm doing the same down here to this. So, and on top of that, we have some engineers that have to go into each one of these sections. And so now let me pull up a spreadsheet.
Okay. But before that, right, there is something called there will be a project initiation part also, right, where the client will come to you with what kind of building they want to assess, and that's a whole another initiation process involved where you sign the contract, you negotiate the price, everything is done, and then this piece will come, right?
Yeah, and sometimes they give us this information to not with the red lines, but they give us the original floor plans, and then I can make a guess, estimate based on either the total square footage or based on how complex the building is, the complexity. This is a warehouse, so there's one big space there. So, if this is a 60,000 foot building, it's still pretty easy because the only small parts are over here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
But sometimes if you look at an office building, the whole building looks like these little tiny rooms, and so that is more complex, and that shows how much I have to price, I have to use the ways I use to create an estimate for this stuff.
Right.
So there are certain things, so taking me back to the spreadsheet now. So what I've done here is basically, if you look at, these are all the different zones I made for that whole complex.
Okay.
And now we have all of these different engineers here. I have a civil engineer, I have a structure engineer, I have exterior envelope, just looking at the outside of the building. I have a roof engineer. I have an interiors engineer. This is elevator, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and fire protection. And all of them are looking at different parts of the building.
Okay. And you will say all this as a tech team, right? As per earlier.
Yeah, we're the tech. All of these guys are tech team. Yeah.
Tech team. Okay.
Yep.
And they are kind of external contractor. They doesn't full time with LLB, right? You bring them as your needs, right?
Yeah. Sometimes there's a little crossover. So, for instance, LLB behaves as the project administrator, but also is a tech team person too. You know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, you know, what I have to do is now, you know, I broke out all zones from that PDF, and then I'm assigning to each of those zones who's going to be looking at the stuff.
Okay.
And, you know, so for the shell includes the site, the structure, the exterior, the roof, and the elevators. And so then those are the folks that look at that. On these interior zones, actually let me stop there. These are all interior zones. So the only things that are relevant are interiors, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and fire. Basically, what this is trying to identify is the responsibility for each of the zones.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, now ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so now within that, what are they looking at? So let's just say that this plumbing person, right?
Okay. Right.
What are they looking at? So there's this whole coding system called the Uniformat. This is a standardized numbering system that we use, and so is in number D20. So they own D20 to D2060. That's usually plumbing. Oh yeah, I already did that here. See, plumbing.
Yeah, on the left side. Yeah.
Yep. Let me unprotect this sheet because So of the plumbing people, they're responsible for these codes, and within those codes, those are the kinds of things that they're going to be looking at.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yep. Okay, then within that, what they have to do is, let me unlock this too.
Maybe this is their comments.
Yeah, we'll get to the commenting. So they have to prioritize each of these elements, piping, fixtures, whatever they see in there. They have to prioritize it in a time frame. You know, this thing is immediately needs to be fixed. 0 to 2 years, 2 to 5 years, 5 to 10.
Okay.
They also have to give a rating on how well maintained the items are. So, you know, is the item, you know, are they doing
one is a priority, like in the maintenance mix, one column you put showcase facility, so one is a priority, right? That's how.
Yeah, so one is the best, yeah, and then it goes all the way down to emergency response, meaning they're never touching it until it's an emergency, you know.
Okay.
Okay, so still, let me back up now. So now I'm doing takeoffs. So how do we get the quantities of all of that stuff, right?
Right.
So going back to, let me go back to the PDF. In some cases, so let's say there's like sprinkler pipe running all over this place. I'm not going to have the guy measure the sprinkler pipe in there. So we have a method with our cost estimator to price this piping by square foot.
Okay.
So if I give him the square number of this whole thing, they have some magic way of telling me it costs, I don't know, $2 a square foot to make sure that this area has a sprinkler system.
Okay.
So that's another cost table
Okay.
that we have. And then sometimes here, you can see the plumbing fixtures in here, but many times we don't price the efficiency out by the fixtures. We just give it a square foot number. It says, okay, you have 3 rooms here, and we assume that, they have a kind of rough number, so, 1 toilet for 100 square feet or something like that. So you can guess this may be about 5, 6 fixtures in here.
Okay.
Sometimes, though, they do count, so sometimes if they have the numbers, we'll use the numbers because that's more accurate. But if we don't have the numbers, if we don't count it, then we just do it by square foot.
Right, okay.
I mean, some things I can count pretty easily here. Like in this floor plan, I can see all the doors, right?
Okay, yeah.
So that's easy to count. I can, so I will count those. I won't do the doors by square foot.
Right.
So that whole exercise goes into takeoffs. So now I have my zones again. I use that same coding system. And actually, let me give you the line 2. So, I have my zone. I have some exterior walls. And now within that, I have 3 different kinds of exterior walls.
Right, okay.
And I calculate what those square footages are. But in some instances, like look here, windows and doors, instead of square foot, I have an actual quantity. Okay. So we do both. Basically, what I'm saying is we do this however is easier. If I can count the windows, I'll count them. Okay.
So we do kind of estimation, either based on the like a windows or doors number of quantities, or you can go with the square footage. Okay.
Yeah, this is like an estimation exercise. Usually a contractor does this stuff, but I'm trying to automate this doing more. So this, you can see this list is pretty big,
Wow. Okay.
So somebody has to do this exercise. Somebody has to go and separate everything out and count some things, and don't count other things. But now that we have this information, now we actually do so that's this tab.
Assessment, okay.
Okay, and then, so I'm jumping around a little bit here, but because I'm looking at 2 different projects. But now we have the assessment. So I have the zone. The zone came from here. I have the responsibility. That came also from here, WB. I have the unit format code. I have the element they were looking at. And now they start to describe something. Okay. So that's the orange column. That's where they put the code in for the maintenance,
Okay.
And that's where they put the priority. And then they would provide a recommendation. And sometimes in some assessments, the recommendation is just this simple: monitor, maintain, or replace.
Okay.
And then they would, this is incomplete. So they say monitor. So they would basically say, check, or what is this, eye wash units. So check eye wash units for flow. I'm making this up, you know.
Okay.
And then here, the unit of measure is, I said zone area. So the way I'm measuring this observation zone area, so let me go back. Zone FR101A.
Okay.
So this, I'm not done here yet, but I would look up zone 101A
Okay.
and find the square footage
Okay.
and put that square footage here. That means,
okay.
you know, this, that much units. The cost comes from another cost table,
Okay.
and then, you know, the last column just multiplies it all out.
Got it.
So you can see in the last three tabs, like this assessment, with the definitions, those are pretty standard. I mean, I can see how we can build a pretty structured app.
Right.
The loose thing is this: how do we get all the quantities out of these things? You know, it's almost like a two-part exercise.
Yeah, correct. I think we have to think about some kind of a very general solution which can fit all the scenarios. Yeah. Okay.
What would be nice is that if, you know, let me go back to the takeoffs. The most time-consuming thing to do right now for us is takeoffs.
Takeoffs, okay.
And that, if you don't do the takeoffs, then you have nothing to multiply the costs against.
Okay.
So that's the most, I guess, critical.
Right.
Like if you don't have if you don't have a quantity, then how can you multiply a cost?
Multiply, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, everything is done via Excel, right? The tech team or some contractors go to the site and they make all this measurement and they put it here, right? Or they give you data and then you go and fill the data in Excel. Right
now, yes. I mean, it's even simpler than that. When we, all of us, will just go in the field and we'll handwrite notes or put some notes in our notebooks, and then I give everybody a copy of this whole spreadsheet. Okay. And then they fill it in. So, for instance, you know, I just received this today. This is only from AEI, so this is only the mechanical, electrical, plumbing people.
Okay.
And then I'm going to get another one from the site person. I'm going to get another one from structural. I have to stitch all of those together.
Okay.
You know, and then when you think about it, that's just all the raw. This is all just raw tabular information. Eventually, I want to get to something like this. Let me take you to another one. So this is another one that's complete. So you can see I have the same thing. This is a smaller job, you know, but these are the zones, the responsibilities, you know. These are these are the takeoffs. Okay.
Facility areas is a takeoff in this case.
Yeah, I called it something different. Same kind of definitions. Then life cycle assessment. I need to move this little thing over. Okay. And then what I have to do is, you know, like I said, I combine everybody's other spreadsheets all together to have this table. But again, look at how many rows of, you know, for this small project, it's still 338 lines of data. That gets summarized to look like this. So this is just a pivot table. Okay. You know, and then I think that's just the same. And then, you know, here's another view. So
Okay.
the end product, the product that goes to the client, back to the client, is
Is
something
this
like
one?
that. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And then, the
And
thing is, it would be awesome if, the client goes, well, what do you mean it's $700,000 in my 0 to 2 year range? What is that? Right now, what we have to do is we have to go back here. I have to turn this off, 3-state here, and then turn this off, 0 to 2. And it's these two line items that equal that. The Excel sheet works. The Excel works fine.
Right.
But we want to make this more cohesive. We want to
Efficient.
more efficient, more people to be able to engage with the information.
Right. Okay. And how about there is a need? I can see there is a lot of need with the workflows also, because there are different roles involved. Like there is something called project administrator, project manager, and then tech teams. So once tech team is done, they will send it up to maybe project manager, I believe so. So and they will be going back and forth, right? If project manager doesn't feel that okay, there is more work needs to be done, he will send it back to tech team. Such kind of scenarios happen.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So I feel there is a need for workflows as well, right? In the whole scenario, all process.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And how about reporting? Like you currently, you will use Power BI something, or you are already using?
I have used Power BI, not for this kind of project, but actually, no, wait. No, I have. Hold on. Let me take you there.
Okay.
This is another project. So I've made this is just a screenshot. But you can see that, and this was 100-something buildings. So you can imagine how much data was going. These other ones are just 2-3 buildings. This is 130 buildings.
Okay.
All in Excel, and then I used it to do Power BI. But you can see the codes. Those codes are right there.
Okay.
And the priorities are right there.
Okay.
And then some small graphs here. Sometimes they look at by what kind of construction the building is, by what kind. This was a college, so they have residences, academic buildings.
Okay.
And then some costs. So I use Power BI, but more what they sometimes get to. Let me go back. Is sorry, open this. I designed this in InDesign, and this is an executive level report. So also I'm going out and taking photography of everything, doing. This is the methodology about what the assessment is all about. I developed key maps like this, and then that basically those Excel summaries.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the 1-page summary, and then I go building by building.
Okay.
So this is kind of repetitive, but you can see, that this is a printed PDF that goes to, the high level people who don't want to look at spreadsheets.
Right. Yeah. Got it. And so other thing what I want to ask you is this. So Power BI will be part of this project, or that will be a separate thing? At this point, we are not worrying about reporting. We just want to kind of focus on Power Apps and see.
Yeah, I think we get the base stuff done. You know,
Okay.
just making sure that the logic between those areas, and the takeoffs and the definitions and the assessment,
Okay.
that all talks to each other.
Okay.
And then we can talk about reporting, and even then we have to talk about what we want to do is make sure that somebody can fill this information out in the field.
Right. Yeah. So one thing also you mentioned about somewhere it's a determined project technology / tool. You mean to say that is a Power Apps only, right?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I have one document which says like a facility assessment project sequence, like where you mention about project initiation, client data, develop proposal, contract and pricing, assemble team, develop schedule, all the steps, right? And then at one of the one of the step is find project technology / tool.
Oh yeah, so this will be the tool, whatever we're developing.
Oh, so Power Apps is a tool. So now I have, right? Would that develop proposal, contract, pricing, assembling team, everything will be out of Power Apps?
No. That's all front end before this stuff.
Front end, but let me share my screen. Then it will be easy for you to start sharing. So let me know when you see my screen.
Okay. Do I have to stop sharing mine?
Yeah, maybe stop sharing.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah. So this is for what you provided, right? So one of the item is like develop project tools. Let me open the Word document which I was working on. Yeah, so this and it is coming from here, right? There is a PDF which you sent me. Yeah, this is the one. So our Power Apps, right, will start from here, or project initiation will also be a part of Power Apps?
Let's start. I think we should start it from where you have it highlighted, because I think there's so much other complexity. It's already complex as it is, right?
Right, yeah.
So, we can, I don't want to add a time component into the app yet or anything.
Okay. So we will assume that there is a project which is ready to go, and that's where whatever you show me today, that's the point where it will start.
There might be, if we have a successful, project from the app going downwards, then maybe in the future we can start about the initiation portions of it, because we are interested in being better at developing proposals and developing cost proposals.
Right. Okay. So that's good then. So whatever we discussed today will be this point onwards. So we know there is a client, they have information, and so you guys will start feeding the data into the Power Apps, and it will be used among project administrator, project manager, and tech teams. Tech teams will use that Power Apps in the field. Whatever you showed me in the Excel, but it will be real time. They will directly go and start putting the data in the Power Apps.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be load data and then conduct the kickoff meeting. What's that? Because that will be happening before tech team will go, right? So this will be somewhere up.
Yeah, I think we moved that up.
Okay. Then coordinate and project scheduling, field work. That's good. Field work and office work. And so, yeah, I think so. Now I think I have a better understanding.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking
there will be
for more nuts and bolts, like the nuts and bolts stuff that's involved with this whole service.
Mm-hmm.
If we can focus on that first, then we can deal with the procurement stuff and supervisory stuff.
Okay. Okay. So, will you be able to provide the Excel what you showing me today? Like you can wipe off the data and just kind of fields what we can see.
I can send one pretty quickly, but I just want to confirm that it will not get used or shared or anything like that.
Yeah. It is just for our eyes, and you can remove whatever data what you feel it's not relevant to us. We just want to see the field, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that, and yeah, sure, go ahead.
And other thing, what's the timeline you are looking for this project? Do you have anything in your mind?
Well, so I'm super busy, so we don't have an end goal for doing this, but if there's any part of this that is a usable product, then we will immediately start using it. Okay.
Okay, that's good. And how about licensing? So you are already using Office 365 and Power Apps is a part of it, or you have to go and do a procurement of Power Apps?
Nope, I have a separate CDS2 license. Or wait, hold on. Let me share my screen again.
Okay, sure.
Start sharing. Okay. I'll show you exactly what we have.
It's still coming up. Did you share your screen?
I thought I did. Oh, I forgot to click one thing. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, now I can see.
So I have we have a Dynamics 365 license. Oh, that's a whole nother story I could get into with you.
That's a totally different, yeah.
But it's all on CDS now,
Yeah, the Dynamics CRM, that's how they come up with CDS, because Dynamics CRM was using it. And it was all built on CDS.
So I have one Active Directory P1 that we can use for stuff. I have a PowerApps Plan 2.
Okay. I think which is $50, right?
Yeah, and that's for one admin, for myself.
Okay. Okay.
I can get another one and get you guys in there if you want. And then, what was the other? I think that's it, because PowerApps Plan 2 gives you access to another CDS instance.
Oh, okay.
And right.
I thought that it's separate, but I have to check.
I think they changed it.
Oh, they changed it. Okay.
I forget. Let me go PowerApps here. You see, I have, once this starts loading, So I have a Power Apps environment.
Okay.
You know, I've already developed a couple of apps myself,
Okay. That's nice.
and I have two environments. And I think the reason why I have two environments is that one of them belongs to 365 Dynamics, and then the other one
Yeah,
is
it comes with that. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'll just did I show you this?
Nope.
This was my attempt at starting the whole assessment.
Okay.
Let me load this up. And are you familiar with canvas-based versus model-based?
Yes. Yeah.
What would you prefer using?
We will be preferring model-based because the now thing canvas-based it was when PowerApp started, but now it's more on the first we have to build a structure entity, and then we have to build a
so you
UI
build
on top of it.
it's more valuable to build the business logic inside of the entities.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and don't build the logic on the Canvas app.
Yeah, that's where it is going now. Because
Okay.
earlier it was canvas based, but now it's all other way.
Cool. Sorry this is taking so long. It's probably because I haven't opened it in a long time.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, see, so this is just a couple of screens, but I had life cycle items. I preloaded, you know, all the things that they should look at. And then see the priority is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 start. Let me edit this, you know, so they can just click it, you know, click with their fingers, you know.
Wow, that's
The
nice.
amount of stars. And then, but see this quantity lookup? That's, we need a whole part of this app that does the takeoff stuff, you know.
Okay. Wow, okay.
So
It's very nice UI. You come up with the whole thing?
yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I was trying to, you know, because I want it to be a good user experience. I'm really,
Right.
yeah. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. So other thing, let me see. Hopefully I have covered all my questions. Let me see my notes one more time. So, and yeah, so Azure, do you use Azure Active Directory? Like, let's say if project manager and all these people logs in, you want to do a single sign-on because your Power Apps and Office 365 all part of the same tenant.
From what I understand, guest users can't use PowerApps.
Yeah, they cannot use because everyone needs a license, whoever will be using.
Okay. And so do you know what's the minimum?
What the minimum they can do? Because
Yeah.
that's another question, because tech teams, what you have, they are not part of your organization and they will come ad hoc, right? If they are doing surveying or they are doing assessment in the field,
Yeah.
do you planning to get them license or?
Yeah, I mean, if it's reasonable, then we could, you know. But yeah, I have Azure. Like I use the Azure portal every now and then.
Okay, and all the but you use Azure Active Directory in your office. Like how many logs in at your work?
I think what you're asking is it's a little bit hybrid. So we have an on-prem Active Directory, but it links to our Azure, yeah, or Office 365.
Okay, got it.
So if you look in Azure Directory here, let me just make sure.
Okay.
We're talking about the same thing. So users,
So
all
you
of
have
these
100
users,
Yeah.
yeah, so all of these users are in-house, and we have some guests.
Because then if we assign a license to these users in Power Apps, right, they will be able to use the same login and password.
Yeah, yeah. So whatever this person, Alan Carpenter, however they signed in before,
Right.
if we turn on a Power Apps license for them,
Yes.
then they can just sign in, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's what we will check it out, test it out. But I think so. It should be because it's all via Azure Active Directory.
Okay. I don't have to give them I don't have to give them a license through our organization. That's my question.
Oh, okay. So how we will give them a license? Going to they will get their own license or?
Well, so we have this, right? And then if I go back to the admin portal.
PowerApps.com.
No, here. So these users. So this, maybe you can tell me something. These active users, this list is the same as this list, right?
That list is Office 365, right? But behind the scene, right, whenever you log in, right, it makes a connection. It goes to Azure Active Directory and get authenticated from there.
Okay. So let's say,
So,
any one of these people. So this let me pick a real tech team person.
Okay.
So like guests. Oops. No, sorry. Let me go back here. Okay. So this person, Alex. You can see that there is their internal user. That's kind of their full email that it tagged on external.
Okay.
Can I assign them a license right from here?
I click it one time and let me check on this one. I think so. If we because this user will go like when he tries to log in, right, it will be authenticated from there. I can double check and tell you.
Okay. Yeah, you see what I mean. So otherwise, do I have to create internal organization users?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, right? On the same line. But yeah,
Okay.
I think as long as we can assign them, like your company can assign them a license, we should be good.
Right.
To work on. And then once their work is done, you can always take the license out and assign it to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing with that. Like you can always assign the license and take it away and use it somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So one last thing, right? How we would like to proceed on the project so that we can, if we want to get started, we can get started. So you would be working on hourly basis the project, or you have something in mind?
I think maybe to start, can you give me an hourly breakdown of, maybe the first few tasks that you'd like to take care of?
Okay, sure. Yeah, definitely. And then how we want to work via Upwork?
Then afterwards, I mean, if we can, do blocks of time, something like that. Yeah, not to exceed, or maybe what would help me is trying to phase this thing.
Right.
And in the first phase, how many hours, we'll work hourly in the first phase, or maybe the first two phases, however you want to do it. And then once we get comfortable, then maybe we can just say for the rest of the project, come up with a agreed upon fee. Right.
Yeah, I think so, because initially, right, there will be a lot of discovery involved, of whole, like along with your business requirement and how to fit in Power Apps and CDS, right? So
yeah.
I think that would be a good way to work. And then, like, if we want to work directly, or you would prefer to work with Upwork, either way is fine with us.
I'd like to do check-ins. Like I said, it's really tough for me to. Sometimes I have a lot of deadlines, and so if we make a meeting, I may not have some answers for you.
Okay.
But it could be that, like, so if we wanted to develop, like, if you would propose, which entities would you propose to need to create, right? And then you could say, like, okay, the next step is to define the business rules or the business logic.
Right.
I can probably assist with that because I know a little bit about Power Apps, so I can.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So
you guys can go through the motions of actually, just populating the entities and then reporting back and saying, hey, I just did these entities. Now I need the logic to go with it or something,
Right. Yeah. Got it. Okay.
And then we test that. Then. And I really appreciate that you said you wanted to do model-driven because for me the canvas is a little, boring.
Yeah.
I mean, it's messy.
Yeah, it's a messy. Yeah. And in fact, today's best practice, everyone is going towards model-driven only. That's where today's focus is.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay then.
Right,
so
I'll send you that Excel spreadsheet, and it looks like you were preparing a document for me.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I get that, I can get it reviewed, and we can start to sign a contract or something.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. That would be great. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much. That was a very informative call.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks for your time, and looking forward to work with you.
Thank you as well.
All right.